I got the Switch 2. I've been playing with it all night. I went to my midnight release at GameStop. It was a lot of fun. Next gen console releases don't happen that often. I don't know how many you get in a lifetime, but it's not that many. So I'm super excited for the Switch 2. Switch 1 has been one of my favorite consoles of all time. So I was super excited to get my hands on this thing. My midnight release was awesome. I was expecting a couple people and a few sweaties to be there at night. Nope. Over a lineup of 100 people there. GameStop employees being super cool, letting me record. We have all kinds of footage of the actual midnight launch, the actual GameStop itself, and then an unboxing of the actual Switch 2. We're going to go ahead and get on with that. And then if you don't want to see the actual unboxing and the actual journey there and all that fun stuff, then there'll be a pinned comments down below that you can just jump forward to, and that'll just get on with my initial review and impressions and what I actually think about this thing after spending the night with it. Does it feel premium? Does it feel next gen? Does it actually feel like it was worth the money? These were my main impressions or my main thoughts going in that I wanted to know. And after spending all night with it, I definitely have some answers. That's extra likes right there, pal. Okay, right off the hop, I noticed this adapter is a lot heavier than it used to be. Look at this. That's a chunky boy. There's to hold our new Joy-Cons. There's our new dock. Look at my sweaty hands. Okay. This also feels a lot more premium right off the hop. It's bigger, it's thicker. Jesus Christ, this thing's big. Look at that. It's like an actual console. There's our new Joy-Cons. Now these feel a lot heavier right off the bat. You can feel those magnets in there. Okay, look at this thing. Whoa. Okay. That shit snaps. I didn't even have to put that in there. There's a little release button right here. I just push that. It pops off. And then to put it on, I barely touch it. That ain't going nowhere. Okay. I mean, this feels and looks premium. This looks like a toy. Look at that. The screen alone is the size of the old Switch. Holy shite. What else are we working with here? Kickstand. Ooh, ooh. Oh. Okay. That feels really good. Okay. Everything about this just looks and feels a lot more premium. Ta-da. Feels like the same old Switch controller. Actually, the D-pad feels a little nicer. Very nice. All right, now we'll try this baby out and we'll fast forward to the future. Okay, so after playing on this Switch 2 all night, what's my initial thoughts? Did we get our money's worth? Is the actual build quality good? Well, let me tell you, right off the hop, the first thing I can feel and first thing I noticed when taking this out last night was this build quality feels much better. In comparison, the Switch 1 feels like a toy. The Switch 2, in its design in itself, is thinner, it feels nicer, it's got some weight to it, but not in a bad way, in a way that feels like, okay, this isn't a toy and this is an actual console. These Joy-Cons, they did a wonderful job on. They attach so seamlessly. I was a little bit worried about this whole magnet system and how that was going to work and if it was going to be as seamless as they made it like look. It definitely is. These buttons feel much more premium. This D-pad is definitely an upgrade, and as someone who plays a lot of 2D games and side-scrolling games, I can definitely appreciate a better D-pad. The Joy-Cons, obviously, we're all going to have to report back on once we can see if the drift starts again. But as of now, Nintendo says that that's not going to happen, and they do feel a little bit more premium than the original ones. So let's see how these joysticks hold up over the coming months. But as of right now, it feels nice. This kickstand is sturdy. And when I say sturdy, I mean sturdy. They got some good hinges in here. This in itself feels like it's almost like metal. It stays wherever you put it. You do not have to worry about this flopping down and hitting the table. The actual whole build design and quality of this Switch 2 feels a little bit more thought out than the Switch 1 and is definitely an improvement. So as far as the actual build quality in itself, it's definitely, you're getting your money's worth. At least that's in my opinion. The mouse thing, like I said, once Metroid Prime 4 comes out, we're going to have to report back on that and see how that works. But as of right now, it seems like it's a good feature, but not really going to have a chance to test that out till there's something substantial to play with an actual mouse. So the build quality, A+. I can't complain about really anything about this so far. So like I said, besides it being noticeably heavier, I don't think that's really an issue. For me, that makes it feel a little bit more premium. But some people may complain and feel like, oh, this is a little bit too heavy and, you know, I don't know. But as for me, no complaints. So build quality and design, I think they did a great job. The actual dock in itself looks like a console and feels like a console. And when you put the Switch 2 in it, the overall size and everything, it just looks great. The actual premium quality feel is here, unlike the Switch 1. Switch 1, everything about it feels like cheap plastic. The dock, the Switch in itself, you know, besides the Switch OLED, every Switch just kind of feels like a toy, you know? And even then, that one is not the greatest of, you know, quality all in itself for what you're paying. So I think this is a great upgrade and a great purchase as far as build quality goes. So now let's talk about the actual UI and the inside and the guts. It feels like everything is an upgrade. The UI feels a lot nicer, and even though it looks the same, I think it's been kind of an upgrade as far as how fast it works. The Nintendo Switch store used to take a long time to do. Now if you click on the eShop, I remember it used to take a while to go in. Now the eShop loads pretty quick, so that's a good thing. Exploring the eShop, I haven't really done too much of that, and it seems like basic same design as before. But I mean, it all looks nice, and if it isn't broken, I guess you don't have to fix it too much. Now, my one thing that I kind of have a beef with here, if I'm not just going to be glazing Nintendo this whole time, is why is there no custom UI? Nintendo, there's zero reason for that. And I don't want to hear, oh, it may come in an update later on. If they haven't given it to us right now off the hop, we're not going to get it. There is no reason why I shouldn't be able to at least have like a screenshot from one of my games as the background, or just something a little bit more custom feeling than this. So as far as the actual look of the Switch, once you turn it on, I mean, if you've seen the Switch 1, then you've seen the Switch 2. So I definitely think there's a lot of room for improvement there, but who knows, maybe in an update later on, we may get that. Okay, now the most important thing, how is the quality of the actual games? I played Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, which I've already beaten on my Switch 1, and I played Pokemon Violet, which I've already played on and beaten on my Switch 1. So I can tell you that it definitely, most 100%, feels better in every single way. It's smoother. It looks nicer. It just feels like it's running at a steady frame rate and not fighting against the system itself to keep up. So definitely, I think that the new and improved hardware inside this thing is going to work wonders for games that are already out and games coming in the future. But what we're going to do is I'm going to cut to some footage of Pokemon that I was playing last night and show you that if we're being honest, there's still a lot of improvement and a lot of work they can do here. Now, Pokemon Violet is a previous gen game. So there's only so much they can do in an update and in a patch to make it run nicer, right? I mean, if it runs nicer and it's at a stable frame rate and everything looks brighter and smoother and improved and less pixels and less everything else, then that's great. But what if there's still a bunch of pop-in? And what if there's still a bunch of issues? I have to wait till further games come out that are exclusive to the Nintendo Switch 2 to see if that's something that's going to persist. Because as of right now, I'm going to cut to this gameplay and you're going to see that it seems like we may be still having some issues as far as why aren't these games running without pop-in or running seamlessly and smoothly. So as you can see, some games seem like they still have some issues that I would think for a system as premium as this, that they say is on par with PS4, wouldn't be having those issues. But once again, that's a previous gen title just been upgraded for this new current gen. So we'll see how these actual current gen games run. I wasn't about to pay $80 for Mario Kart, and I'm not getting the bundle. I have no interest in really playing Mario Kart. I played the heck out of Mario Kart 8, and I think I've had my Mario Kart fill for a long, long time. So that's not really a great judge of I think how it's going to work anyways. I want to see some actual next gen titles like Donkey Kong and things that look like they're going to maybe have a little bit of a more rough time and maybe going to push the system a little bit more to its limits. So we'll report back then when those things happen. Now, the digital keycard situation, it's annoying. I'm annoyed with physical media going away. Technically, the digital keycards are a better form of digital media because you can kind of still now lend it, which you couldn't really do with your digital download before. So, I mean, in a way, it's a little bit of an improvement, but it's just a step towards not having any physical media still. So I'm not going to be praising that in any way, shape, or form. It is what it is. Digital downloads are digital downloads. As far as the actual gameplay, we've already covered that. It's going to be really nice to actually experience some new games like the new Donkey Kong and Metroid Prime 4 and see how games that are more geared towards the Switch 2 actually perform. And then we can report back on actual performance. But as far as right now, are you getting your money's worth? Hell yeah. It's a definite improvement. Zelda Tears of the Kingdom ran flawlessly. I've never had that game run so nice and smooth without having dropped frame rates and all the bullshit that normally comes with playing that game. So that was a really nice experience. Pokemon was really nice and it was seamless and smooth. And like I said, that first 10 seconds of even turning it on, I could tell, wow, this is different. This feels nice. This feels like an improvement. But then it took me like 30 seconds to play and be like, look at all this popping. What's happening? Why is there no grass there 10 feet away from my character? and then I walk 2 steps and there's all of a sudden grass there popping in. Like, I understand draw distances and stuff, and if it was far in the background, okay. But I mean, it's grass that's 10 feet in front of me. That doesn't really make too much sense to me. But we'll have to see how things are moving forward. Overall, do I think this thing's worth the money so far? Yes. But do I think you need one right now? No. I think if you have a Switch 1 and you don't have any games that are out on this thing yet, like the new Pokemon or Tears of the Kingdom or anything like that, that you really want to play in an upgraded form, then you're not really missing out on much right now. This is an awesome unit, and it definitely feels worth the money. And I have no doubt when we get some more exclusives that that side of the market is going to feel more worth the money, and like, yeah, we're getting our money's worth too. So, I think overall this is going to be a success. I think that moving forward, the Nintendo Switch 2 is going to perform amazing. And I really do think that you should get one when the time is right for you. I don't think you need to go out and rush out and buy one right now. But I think when the time is right for you, whether that may be now or that may be in the future, I think you're definitely going to get your money's worth, at least when it comes to the Switch 2. We definitely need more time to fully judge. Like I said, these joysticks could get drifty in a couple months. We'll have to wait and see. The new Donkey Kong could come out and not perform very well. We'll have to wait and see. All these things are kind of, we have to wait longer and get more data on the system, which is the only way we can do that is by playing it and with time. So in a couple months, I'll report back and we'll see how the Switch 2 is doing and how it feels and where its place in video games is at the time. But for now, I think as far as an actual launch and as far as a console goes, I think this was worth it. I think I'm very happy with my purchase. I think even though I've stayed up all night playing with this, I'm going to have a quick nap when I'm done editing this video for you guys. And then I'm going to definitely wake up and spend the rest of my day enjoying this new Switch 2. So I guess that's it for now. We'll have to report back, like I said, later on when we see more of, more data on the actual games, once we get more exclusives, how many of these new games end up being $80 US, $110 Canadian. So, there's some things that we can't really judge yet. But like I said, right off the hop, it feels good. It feels good for the price, and I'm happy with my purchase. You don't get that many next-gen console releases anyways nowadays. So, I mean, if this is your hobby and you can afford to get it, then, it's fun. But if you don't need one right now, then you definitely don't need one right now. You are not missing out on very much. Like, some improvements on some old games, and that's about it. Once we get a bunch more exclusives and a bunch more games and more third-party games start coming over, and we get more reasons to actually use the mouse feature, which I haven't even had a reason to use yet, then, we'll be able to judge it more. But as of right now, it feels good. I'm happy I have it. I think Nintendo did a really good job. I think the system's going to be a huge success. The battery life seems amazing so far, and the actual look of the unit seems amazing so far. The games are running nice and smoothly. It sounds good. This is significantly louder than the last Switch. Do you remember Switch 1's sound? You turn it all the way up and you could still barely hear it. You guys hear this thing at half volume, just me moving the icons around? It's loud. Like, this system is in every way an improvement as far as build quality and hardware and software. But Nintendo, give us custom, whatever it's called, firmware, UI, whatever. I want to put a nice picture back there. What am I going to have this plain white synthetic background? It sucks. Anyways, that's it for me. I hope you guys had some fun. If you didn't get to make it out to the midnight launch and you are still looking for a Nintendo Switch 2 and you are trying to get one, then I hear they're actually not that tough right now. So good luck. And maybe you'll see some of you guys online. If you guys enjoyed this, I know it's not my usual style of video, but there's only so many console releases in a generation or in your lifetime. So, I figured I'd take advantage of it and have some fun. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'll be back next week, and with my usual 2 videos a week. We're going to break down a lot of retro stuff next week, so hope you guys are going to look forward to that. And I have a lot of shit to talk about the regular modern video game industry as usual. That's going to be going on next week too. So there's a Discord if you guys want to jump in and hang out and have some fun and talk about that. We're always in there yapping about whatever. And I think that's it for me. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for all the growth on the channel. For 6 months in, I think we're doing really good. The channel's just been going up and up, and I can just see positive things for the future. I have a lot of cool ideas coming up for the future too. So Look forward to that. And thanks for being here. All right. Thanks, guys. I'm out.